Respected members of conference, my name is Jaanaki M Patel. I am professor at Satyajit Institute of Applied Science, Bangalore. Today I will presenting my research title Digital Twins Bridging the Physical and Virtual World in IT System. Digital twins technology represents a major shift in how physical systems are monitored, analyzed, and optimized. A digital twin is a virtual representation of physical system that continuously receives real-time data from sensor and connected device. This allows digital model to accurate mirror and condition behavior and performance of real-world system. The concept of digital twins was initially introduced by NASA for aerospace application where system reliability and safety are critical. With the advancement of technology such as Internet of Things, artificial intelligence, machine learning, cloud computing, and big data analysis, digital twin has expanded into multiple domains including manufacturing, healthcare, automotive, energy, and smart cities. The key strength of digital twin lies in the ability to bridge the physical and virtual world, enabling real-world monitoring, simulation, and predictive decision making. The central research question of this study is how do digital twin bridge physical and virtual environment and what is their impact on modern IT system? This research is significant because organization today aims to reduce operational cost, minimize downtime and improve efficiency. This topic supports objective by analyzing predictivity maintenance, process optimization and data-driven decision. However, challenges such as integration with legacy system, data security and scalability remains important consideration. Digital twin technology is applied across several industries. In manufacturing, supports predictive maintenance, reduce equipment failure, and optimize product processes. In healthcare, enables the creation of virtual patient model which assists personalized treatment planning and clinical decision support. In automotive and energy sector, improves decision system, performance monitoring and lifestyle maintenance. In smart city, helps in urban planning, traffic management and efficiency resource utilization. Organized such as General Electric, Simon and Philips Healthcare clearly demonstrate real-world benefits of digital twin adoption. This study used a mixed method research approach. The quality component includes case study of GV Aviation, Siemens and Philips Healthcare focusing on implementation of strategy and operation outcome. The quantity components consist of survey conducted amongst IT professionals across various industries. Key performance indicators such as system uptime, predictivity, accuracy, and maintenance efficiency were analyzed using statistical method. All ethical guidance were followed and data confidentiality was maintained. Results show strong positive outcomes. GV Aviation enables predictivity maintenance of jet airlines leading to reduced downtime and cost saving. At Siemens, digital twins improves manufacturing efficiency and product quality while reduce waste. Philips Healthcare supports personalized patient care and improve treatment outcome. Survey finding indicates predictivity maintenance is most valuable application while legacy system integration remains the primary challenge. In conclusion, study demonstrates that digital twins plays a crucial role in connecting physical and virtual systems within modern IT environment. Organization adopting digital twin experiences improve efficiency, reliability, and system analysis. Further development involves 5G and edge computing advanced analysis accepted to further enhance digital capability. I sincerely acknowledge the support of Satyajit Institute of Applied Science and all contributors of this research. Thank you for your attention. Thank you.
Hello and a warm greetings. I congratulate first to Vedant Knowledge System which is actively hosting and participating in Viksit Bharat at 2047 conference, which is happening in this month, which is giving a very great traditional Indian knowledge with modern technology of artificial intelligence, sustainable solutions, value-based education, and a diverse field of education and the industry standards. So here I am chairing the sessions of the conference in some of the domains. Here, the different papers I am chairing. There are almost six papers that I am chairing as a session chair. And the first paper is the digital twins breaching the physical and virtual world in IT system. The main author as Ms. Janaki M Patel, professor from Sardar Patel Institute of Applied Science, Bakrol. In the paper titled The Digital Twins, actually it's exploring the fundamental and foundational architecture of the digital twin technology. It's a good thing that it presents the challenges including the privacy risk, cybersecurity, integration of and the complexity with legacy IT system, high deployment cost, as well as say the dependency on high volume, high velocity data, interoperability and standardization in the issue that persist, presenting barriers to widespread adoption. Here, the paper that introduces in a good sense with the background and context of the research problem. So it gives a good approach of say bridging the gap between physical and virtual world, which are there required basically for the IT system across the different industries. So the significance is mostly been observed in terms of say the crucial aspects as well as addressing some different challenges associated with the deployment as I said earlier with the integration complexity, data security, scalability, and many more. So the paper is structured well in terms of say the evolution right from 2000 to till 25 in this year as well. The literature that consisting of say almost 20 plus papers that from the different conferences and the journal based are there been reviewed appropriately with the foundational concepts as well as the digital twin across the industry. So here it is been mentioned about say what the standard adoptions are been there for the variety of say the era technologies in this domain, but it should also have to be defined some of the key aspects in terms of the limitations and the observations the application based should be viewed as well as say the literature is divided into the existing theory methodologies and the findings different say the authors what they have highlighted the findings in terms of say economic and operational benefits as well say simulation based optimization the real time insights has been defined there as well as say as been mentioned the gap should be been defined in the variety of ways the statistics should be defined I suggest the paper should define the gap in the literature with respect to the key population area as well as the key industrial area with respect to the different eras with reference to different say the year wise study should be defined. That is the suggestions as I am giving as well as in the component and the key functions are been defined in a keyword way, or say for example, the physical entity, the data sources, the data platform, etc., are been described in terms of the key functions, and the technologies are robustly being used. The different technologies that are being robustly used is been defined, but again, it should be well versed in terms of some of the statistics, some of the say in a way of a pictorial form, or say the aspect in terms of uh, 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 the document. It should be well defined. In the case of methodology, again, it is been suggested to have, say, the stage wise appropriate say analysis, as well as the methodology should be defined, that such as the data collection method, or say the analysis in terms of a qualitative way or quantitative way as supposed to be defined. The strategies and the data analysis, as I said earlier, in terms of the coding, pattern identification, and contextual analysis should be well defined. The quantitative analysis adds repeating again over here with respect to the statistics, the different test correlation analysis are being explained well, but again in a pictorial way, in a say analytics way. It should be defined in the way. It is again say appreciated the limitation of the methodology, that expressing the sample quantity, as well as generalization, as well as the data quality that has been defined. The results are very appropriate. Again, it has been suggested based on the case studies, just as for example, General Electric, Siemens, and Philips Healthcare. All these are being defined again over here. Some of the current aspects, current trends, the latest era, the latest year of these say limitations and the case studies findings should be defined, as well as say finally the case study results in the digital twin with respect to the benefit, with respect to say application benefits, with respect to say the company perspective. It has been well defined. I congratulate say to the author that the discussion of the paper is properly interpreted, properly written. The comparison with respect to the findings and the previous research has been defined again, but the suggestions are it should be elaborated in a well standard statistics way, and say the technical implication, the strategic implications, or some of the implications are being defined well. To elaborate more, it will give say a very high and a very concrete say base for defining this domain. In conclusion, I again congratulate to have this kind of say a diverse, or say the area of say the study. Thank you. Warm greetings. The second paper I am judging, the title as an analytical study of modern cybersecurity threats and their circumstances, presented by Neha Patel, the teaching assistant of Sardar Patel College of Engineering and Technology, Gujarat, India. It is appreciated that the author has touched and defined the extensive review of the cybersecurity threats, but it is also been defined the exploration of the different mechanism, like intrusion detection, the prevention system, machine learning based cybersecurity model, the cyber threats intelligence framework, zero trust security architecture as the highlighted aspects, but as well as the examining recent literature are as defined in a very limited way with respect to their limitation. The finding that emphasizes the importance of adopting the intelligence driven multi layered cybersecurity solution that capable of real-time monitoring and rapid accident responses. So it is a good approach that gives a contribution in a deeper understanding of evolving cyber threats and cyber security. In the case of further readings of the complete paper, in the introduction part, it has been defined the cyber security threats, the vital role, as well as the widespread adoption of the digital technology, which is leading, or I may say, is a cause for the case of the cyber security threats. The literature review is some way not extensive. I suggest to have, say, more extensive literature as a review paper or review component. The literature review should be very strong. So the different approach or the different citations are being defined. The references are being taken from variety of authors. The previous research is the limited one. So despite of this, the different references that are observed and well defined here, the different study reports, malware and phishing attacks, which dominates the threat landscape due to the effectiveness in exploiting both system vulnerabilities and the human behavior, is been defined well. The literature aspect also highlighted the increasing security risk associated with cloud computing and IoT environment. This is again really appreciated that the cybersecurity threats associated with the cloud computing, some of the IoT environments where the weak authentication and configuration error that may serve as an entity point or say the key point for attackers. So in reference to this, the author has highlighted some of the standardized practices as well related to, say, prevent the cases of cyber security threats. In the case of methodology, there are some of the techniques in the case of literature as well. So, the category of the threats, say the different attacks, as well as advanced persistent threats that are being represented as well as reviewed. Cybersecurity countermeasures and the defense mechanism that are also been defined, identified with different case studies, the target sector, the threat types, the attack vectors, the impact and mitigation or the response. The table is again a limited one with reference to the different citations. So it is recommended that the citations should be more for the case of the review, as well as the challenges and the research gaps needs to be defined. The statistical analysis also should be well presented, as well as further the in the case of result, uh, say the statistical presentation, the analytical presentation should be much more concrete, as well as it should not include much theory, but it is been defined in terms of, say, the intelligent framework as, say, the further cumbersome further way to avoid these cybersecurity threats, in terms of a crucial role in strengthening organizational cybersecurity that enabled the early threat anticipation and the decision making ability for the user. The discussion found so well that what the cybersecurity threats should be identified, in what way the effectiveness of say the approaches and the latest or say AI based or automation as aspects of the cyber adversaries that are being defined. So it is also at the end it's been defined in aspect or in respect to or comparison with the advancement, the limitations are being defined. Say it is exclusively on secondary data obtained from the different literature. Obviously, when a review paper is been identified and it is been drafted, the secondary data makes a very high sense. So I congratulate the author for this approach of reviewing different aspects of cyber security threats. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Gauri Kulkarni, Assistant Professor from Pune Cambridge Institute of Management and Computer Applications. I'm presenting my research on digital transformations and artificial intelligence in educations. Education has undergone a massive transformations over the last 2 decades. The integrations of digital technologies such as cloud computing, mobile platforms, and learning management systems has changed how technique and learning take place. The COVID pandemic further accelerated this shift, forcing institutions worldwide to adopt online and blended learning models. Digital transformations in education is not limited to using online tools. It involves rethinking pedagogy, curriculum design, assessment methods, and academic administrations. Technologies such as of LMS platforms, smart classrooms, mobile learning apps, and digital repositories have enabled flexible and accessible learning environment. Artificial intelligence acts as a catalyst in the digital transformations of educations by making learning system intelligent, adaptive, and efficient. AI support intelligent tutorial systems which analyze student learning behavior and performance of provide personalized content and learning path. Through learning analytics, AI collects and analyzes student data such as attendance, assessment, and interactions patterns. Based on this data, AI can predict academic performance, identify at risk student early, and support timely interventions by educations. AI also support automated assessment and grading, which reduce faculty workload, ensures unbiased of evaluations and provides quick feedback to students. Additionally, AI-powered virtual assistants and chatbots offers academic support by answering the queries, guiding learners, and providing course-related assistance. This ensures continuous support beyond classroom hours. If we think about the benefits of digital transformations and AI in educations, AI intelligence enables a education system to adapt learning content according to individual student needs. AI analyze learner performance, learning pace, strength, and weakness, and then recommend suitable content, practice, exercise, and learning paths. Improve access to quality educations. It can quality education accessible anytime to anywhere. So students from remote or under developed regions can access online courses, virtual classrooms, recorded lectures, and digital resources to reduce the geographical and economic barriers and promote equal learning opportunities across different regions and social backgrounds. AI support inclusive educations by offering assistive technologies such as text to speech, screen readers, real time translations, adaptive learning interfaces. These tools help students with visual hearings, cognitives, or learning disabilities to participate actively in the learning process. Some challenges we face in era adoptions, like digital divides and infrastructures limitations, data privacy and security concerns, algorithmic bias, and lack of transparency. So, at the end, we conclude that digital transformations and AI are reshaping the education's ecosystems. However, their success depends on the ethical implementations, trained educators, and inclusive policies. The synergy between AI and digital technologies will play a crucial role in shaping the futures of education. Thank you.
Warm greetings. The next paper I am judging, the title of this paper is Digital Transformation and Artificial Intelligence in Education. The main author, Ms. Gauri Gaurav Kulkarni, as an assistant professor from Pune Cambridge Institute of Management and Computer Application, Pune, India. With the first co-author, Palomi Gavli, assistant professor, VIT College of Engineering, Pune, and the second co-author, Sanjeevani Adsud, as an assistant professor from VIT College of Engineering, Pune. In the paper, as defining and exploring the conceptual foundation, technological framework, application, benefit, challenges in the aspects of, say, the use of artificial intelligence in education. This study is appreciated since it is highlighting the role of an educator and the significance of the data driven technologies, the ethical concern associated with the AI adoption, as well as the framework that responsible and sustainable implementation of AI in the education sector. It is appreciated that the education sector is been promoted in reference to the use of the current era of artificial intelligence. The paper is well drafted, but the suggestion are it should be in a wide variety of literature that should be explored more, as the literature is some way limited. In the case of introduction, the concept of digital transformation in education with respect to the key components are being defined, that is online and blended learning system, learning management system, the cloud-based platform, mobile learning applications, virtual augmented reality, digital content repositories, and smart classroom. So these key components that gives a real transformation should be defined as case wise, or I may say each platform or the key components, like for example learning management system, or and the mobile learning applications, as well as some smart classroom technologies should be well explained. It is appreciated further in reference to the role of artificial intelligence in education, perspective of the learning analytics and predictive modeling, automated assessment and the grading technology, the virtual teaching assistant and the chatbots are being defined, personalized learning, and say the further explored the digital transformation benefits in AI, or with reference to the AI in the education domain. But again, it is suggested as a judge, I am recommending that these all aspects, as well as say the key points needs to be explored in a case to case basis, as well as the challenges and limitations also should be explored with reference to the real domain examples. This is in reference to the digital transformation and AI in education with respect to the data driven and security issues needs to be highlighted more. The high cost of technology adoption, case to case basis, it should be, or say the tool to tool basis should be defined. The technical skill and training that also is lagging, that should be again highlighted in a more variety of way, as well as the dependency on technology and reduced human interaction, that should be highlighted in the case of a proper justified literature. So in the case studies, as I said, is defined exploratory. The examples are well quoted, just like the Coursera, Khan Academy, or the Baiju's use of AI algorithms, or the case of smart classrooms in aspects of some digital attendance systems, the examination systems that are been well defined but should be more exploratory way. The research gaps has been defined over here as the empirical limited empirical evidence and its long term impact on learning outcome, but it should be highlighted again. The statistical analysis or say analytical approach in the variety of way case basis should be defined. I appreciate the author to highlight the AI in education domain for further researchers, but the suggestions needs to be followed in terms of say the references, the citation should be more concrete, as well as the aspects in terms of say the approach, as well as limitations, as well as some of the critical issues needs to be highlighted more detailed way. As well, the concept of digital transformation in education with respect to the real time real domain examples should be more exploratory or should be well defined. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I'm Aparna Mohan and I am introducing a topic smart carbon capture devices for homes and offices. This is an AI driven and computationally optimized approach to indoor carbon management. So before getting deeper into the topic, let me brief about what really the carbon dioxide threat means to our environment and to our day-to-day life. We know that carbon dioxide has emerged as one of the most critical environmental challenges of the modern world, with severe consequences spanning the climate, health, economy, and overall quality of our life. And globally, this rapid rise in atmospheric CO2 concentration has driven primarily by fossil fuel combustion, industrialization, and urbanization has intensified the climatic changes. And beyond its global impacts, elevated CO2 level also poses serious localized risk, particularly in indoor environments, offices, homes, etc. And economically, these effects translate into productivity losses, increased healthcare problems, and higher energy consumption due to the over reliance on mechanical ventilation systems. And collectively, these consequences highlight that CO2 is not merely an abstract climatic metric, but a direct and present threat to human well being, environmental stability, and sustainable development, underscoring the urgent need for intelligent, energy efficient mitigation strategies at both global and local scales. So, the existing carbon capture solutions are industrial scaled, but it is unsuited for indoor uses. Therefore, we are proposing a smart carbon capture device for homes and offices that is integrated with AI, IoT sensing, sorbent based capture, and intelligent controls, and uses algorithms like LSTM, random forest, deep learning, and QUBO optimization. And the experimental result shows that the improved CO2 capture efficiency is increased and reduced energy consumption is also possible. The recommended levels of indoor CO2 levels are greater than 1000 ppm, but this is frequently exceeding the limits, and the main causes due to this is airtight building construction, increased occupancy, and heavy reliance on artificial ventilations. And also the prolonged exposure may lead to cognitive decline, reduced productivity, discomfort, especially in the workplaces. So in order to we are proposing a smart carbon capture devices as a proposed solution for this problem, and it is autonomously controlled by artificial intelligence and computational optimization techniques. And the central hypothesis we are explaining is by using predictive machine learning and reinforcement learning. Together, this improves energy efficiency, CO2 capture effectiveness at a higher rate. Following is a summary of existing theories used and the methodologies, findings, and gaps related to this topic. First one is CO2 capture. The existing theories are around amine scrubbing, solid absorption, DAC technology, etc., but it has limitations like lack of compact energy aware residential scale capture units. And the second one is IAQ control. And the existing theories are ventilation, HAPA filtration, threshold based monitoring, etc. And it has limitations with the IAQ management lacks integrated and active CO2 removal systems. And the third one is computational control. The existing theories include LSTM, HVAC, QU, BO for scheduling, etc. And it has limitations that includes the AI control systems have not been comprehensively integrated into the core function. Considering all those conditions and all the limitations, we are contributing a unique method to this research, and it consists of the following three sections. First one is predictive adaptive control, and secondly advanced optimization integration, and third focus on micro scale indoor environments. And by integrating all these computational models, this research provides a justifiable, necessary, and novel step toward creating a truly intelligent and sustainable solution for managing our indoor CO2 levels. And the research design consists of four sections. First one is quantitative and hybrid approach. The second one is hardware validation. Third one is simulation based artificial intelligence training, and followed by comparative performance evaluation. And the data analysis section or the data analysis technique consists of the CO2 prediction accuracy, the control optimization, and performance comparison. And we are using some machine learning models. The first one is LSTM for carbon dioxide prediction, and these are trained on time series data from real and simulated environments, and then forecast of CO2 levels is taken place for the next 30 minutes, and the performance is evaluated using MAE and RMSE. And secondly, by using random forest regression, and here the analyzes sensor and occupancy data and identifies what key factors influence CO2 buildup, and then helps define the state inputs for the control agent. And third one, the reinforcement learning for control. This consists of deep Q learning, DQL, and some control actions. The deep QL, DQL consists of learning an optimal control policy for our devices, and this includes the current CO2 level, predicted CO2 level, and the sorbent saturation. And the control action include a capturing on and off button and a regeneration start or stop option. And the performance evaluation include this uses a cumulative reward function that rewards good indoor quality of air, penalizes high energy consumption, and penalizes unnecessary sorbent regeneration. And our goal is maximize the long-term efficiency and very good carbon dioxide control. And for controlling the overall carbon dioxide level, the results we expecting are reduced average and peak CO2 levels, and less time above 1000 ppm threshold, the proactive control using our forecast, and improved indoor air quality for our homes and work spaces. And the results we expect for energy efficiency includes the intelligent regeneration of the energy and reduced unnecessary heating cycles, about 20 to 30% of energy savings compared to the baseline measurements, and a balanced IAQ and energy usage. And the key contributions include first AI-driven indoor carbon capture device, and then this capturing device integrate with RL and QUBO optimization that is recently used nowadays, microscale energy aware CO2 management, and this is an interdisciplinary application of computer science. The future work for this topic is that this SSED improves CO2 capture and efficiency. This demonstrates the role of AI in sustainable environment and the future work. This is single room, but we can opt for multi-room systems and this federated learning and quantum hardware deployment.
Greetings. The paper I am judging, the title of this paper is Smart Carbon Capture Devices for Home and Offices, an AI driven and computationally optimized approach to indoor carbon management. The paper is authored by Ms. Aparna Mohan, Assistant Professor from Jyoti Engineering College, Thrissur, as well as Ms. Ria Jacob, Assistant Professor from Jyoti College of Engineering, Thrissur. It is appreciated that authors have highlighted the key aspect of, say, the smart carbon capture domain of the research. The smart carbon capture domain, it has been highlighted in terms of the devices that has been integrates the artificial intelligence as well as IoT based sensing. The paper is also supported with some computational modeling and the quantum inspired optimization. It is for autonomously managing the indoor carbon dioxide level as well as some sensor device monitoring and CO2 capturing and intelligent scheduling algorithms that has been properly justified. So over here, say the author have touched to some of the machine learning models and their analysis like long short-term memory (LSTM), the random forest regression, reinforcement learning, specifically with respect to Q-learning algorithm and the incorporation of forecasting the carbon dioxide built up. The paper is the concept introduced well in the paper as well as some of the key issues has been highlighted with respect to large scale industrial carbon capture, the micro scale sorbian based capture system that suitably for residential and commercial indoor setting which has been defined. Also, in the case of the development of SCCD, that is the smart carbon capture devices, is a significant milestone that has been highlighted for the several reasons. And with respect to that number of reasons, say for example, poor indoor air quality that provides a localized active removal mechanism for CO2 in another way as interdisciplinary convergence, say if suppose it is been applied for the advanced computer science principles, especially with respect to some AI algorithms and optimization technique that will deal for the separation and minimization of the carbon dioxide. So the paper is well organized with respect to the literature, the methodological aspect, as well as the result analysis. In the case of this literature, the suggestion is the review or the literature should be more enough to have, say, the different CO2 capture technology, the IAQ, that is indoor air quality management and computational intelligence for the control systems that need to be highlighted with respect to the different references and the previous studies. These different references and previous studies should be well analyzed as well as well statistically summarized. So, with respect to the existing theories and methodologies, the key findings, though also are defined, it should be well extensive. In the case of, say, their limitations with respect to the carbon capture, with respect to, say, IAQ management, that been said as indoor air quality management, and the computational control with respect to the different algorithms, the predictions, and the energy management with respect to the offers, with respect to their optimization techniques to solve the complexity. So the limitations are well defined and the gaps are been identified, but it should be well explored. So it is appreciated that the author is highlighted the perspective of the justification for the current study. So when we are talking about smart carbon capture devices for indoor environment, variety of key components are been identified or needs to touch upon. So these are been identified properly and been explored with respect to some of the computational techniques with in reference to say the synthesized element or say the different adaptive works. So the research that is highly appreciated when it is contributing uniquely with reference to the predictive adaptive framework, integrating the advanced optimization and micro scale differentiating targetings. So in reference to that, it is again some appreciations been given to the research design. That design is properly highlighted in terms of qualitative, experimental, and simulation based design. The diagrammatic approach is some way missing when we are talking about the comparative analysis in terms of the simulation based design. This to be highlighted in a diagrammatic perspective, as well as the further methodological aspect is some way very crucial, but it is anyhow highlighted, that is the data collection method, the real time when the integration is there in reference to the real time IO2 and say integration of information technology concepts. So that is say internet of things that has to be followed properly, the real time sensor data, the physical experimentation, so the different types of the sensors. So uh, carbon capture device sensors with respect to the integration of the sensing mechanism with respect to different microcontrollers and the sensors, the specifications and the collective results needs to be highlighted, the simulation training data computational modeling that is been defined in a variable generated, but these variables again are to be defined in well statistical way, the different algorithms that are being highlighted and say the control optimization has been defined. But when we are talking about say the carbon emission and the devices, these emission and devices needs to be highlighted when we are talking about the capture or say the carbon capture devices. So these algorithms needs to be defined with respect to the results in the way as the novel smart carbon capture device has been defined, has been identified, as well as when the integration is being captured in terms of AI driven system that significantly improves the CO2 capture effectively and efficiently, then how the effective and efficient way of measurable or say a quantized way needs to be defined. That are only the suggestion, but congratulations to the author that they are highlighting a very important aspects of carbon emission and the carbon capture devices with respect to that emission, integration of artificial intelligence and IoT based sensing, controlling, and monitoring devices. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. This paper presents ethical boundaries of AI use in education and research. Main author of this paper is Vaishali Parmar from SPEC campus. Co-author is Toral Patel, assistant professor from SPEC campus. Here is the abstract. This paper examines the ethical boundaries governing the use of artificial intelligence within educational and research field. Rapid intake of AI-driven tools ranging from automated grading system to generative text model, promising more benefits but also introduce significant ethical challenges. From the abstract, we can see that AI tools from personalized learning to research analysis are rapidly becoming part of our education and research. AI tool can automate grading and analyze faster data, the personalized learning. This is a huge potential for efficiency and innovation. The speed of AI adoption, especially with new generative tools. Well, there is a risk. There is a tools and there is a risk. If we don't set the clear rules, AI risks undermining the academic value like integrity and fairness. Don't forget, our goal is not to stop AI, but to guide it, to ensure human judgment and ethics stay at the core that we can do. So, from the intro, we can see we have a group of five core areas. The AI is increasingly embedded into modern educational system. In classroom, AI supports personalized learning, automates assessment, analyzes student behavior, assists with curriculum designs. In research, AI accelerates the data analysis, automates literature reviews, and design. But AI tools are further accelerated adoption enabling nature language interaction at scale. Simply we can say AI is a tool where we can learn. It is not we can depend on. So, from the different literature reviews, we can see there are the five main cores. The first is academic integrity and authorship, the biggest worry. If AI generates a paper, who wrote it? We must ensure AI don't compromise the originality of student work or research. Second is privacy of data governance. AI needs massive amount of data. This means we must securely handle student and research data and always have informed consent of its use. Third is fairness and bias. AI system can learn and amplify bias present in data they are trained on. We must constantly check and intimate that this bias to ensure that fair outcomes for everybody. Fourth is transparency and explainability. We can't trust a black box. Human oversight, the last. Ultimately, critical decision, like the student's final grade or approving the research result, must remain under human review and responsibility, not the AI tool. So, to conclude my presentation, I can say AI has immense potential to transform education and research, making progress more efficient and personalized. Yet, without ethical boundaries, this technology risks undermining academic integrity, privacy, and fairness. So, ultimately, the goal is not to restrict the AI, but to guide it, ensuring that human judgment, creativity, and ethics remain at the core of education and scholarship. Thank you.
Warm greetings. The paper I am judging in the title of that paper is Ethical Boundaries of AI Use in Education and Research. The main author of this paper is Vaishali Parmar, Assistant Professor of Sardar Patel Education Campus, Anand, India, and the co-author as Toral Patel, Assistant Professor of Sardar Patel Education Campus, Anand, India. It is appreciated and a very congratulations to the authors that they are touching the AI use in education and research, which is the need of this hour. So, the rapid uptake of AI driven tools, the variety of AI driven tools, their use, the benefits, but again, the significant ethical challenges this technology as we are facing in respect to the data governance, the fairness, transparency, and explainability, which gives a very high attribution and say the high risk association with different misuses. So the author has touched the different research or the surveys that are being carried out by the different researchers. In the case as the paper is talking with reference to the architecture, the arrival of governance in the case of AI tool that has been defined for acceleration of adoption and enabling the natural language interaction at the scale. It is also the author has been highlighting the different aspects with reference to the previous study where it has been observed that AI can reinforce the systematic inequities and disempower human agencies if implemented without safeguard. So, in the case of literature, the European Commission's ethical guidelines for trustworthy AI of 2019, the recommendation of ethics of AI in 2020 by UNESCO, as well as the different case studies of AI in education has been defined. So the AI in research with respect to the ethical areas and the description is properly mentioned. The AI integrity, the fairness, the transparency, the human oversight, the research integrity, and the dual use risk are being defined with respect to its description. Again, it is advised that the analysis in terms of the statistics, in terms of the research boundaries needs to be defined. The ethical boundaries in terms of academic integrity and authorship has been appropriately highlighted with respect to different research, the fairness and non-discrimination, as well as the data governance and the informed consent is well needed, and that is also well highlighted. The transparency, explainability, and contestability as are well understood by the author, and the pathways to the challenge and the appeal automated outcome in the case of the different surveys that are being carried out are well highlighted. The human oversight and accountability are also been defined with different cases. So such number of cases, number of say key points observed in terms of say for example accessibility and inclusion, the dual use and misuse risk, or say the research integrity, as I said earlier, as these the things are being appropriately highlighted, as well as I must say that the paper is also highlighting the institutional policies and practice or practical measures that are well required. Say the policy framework, the governance bodies needs to be formed, say the algorithmic impact assessment, that is AIA formation, the consent that needs to be taken from the users or from the authorities, the transparency notices, or say the educational AI labels needs to be defined for every research or say the every data, as well as the pedagogical responses, the research practices in terms of the documentation and reproducibility has been highlighted. I congratulate again to the authors as highlighting the key point as well as the key need of say the use of artificial intelligence in education and research, but also highlighted the key aspects in terms of its proper use and the ethical consideration. This will lead to a great extent in terms of awareness to the further researchers. Congratulations. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Wasim Ansari. I am working as an assistant professor School of Engineering, KK Modi University. In the series of the Viksit Bharat, I am here to present my paper in this conference that is titled City Aware Transformer by LSTM Model for Accurate Heat Wave Predictions Using Daily Weather Data in Indian Cities. Because heat wave prediction is very important because it is very hazardous to the public, environment, everywhere. This paper is including, if I'm going to tell the layout is just like background, problem, goals, literature review, research methodology, result and discussion, and of course, conclusion. So, if we are talking about the background of this growing heat wave threat is there, climate change has increased the frequency, duration, and severity of heat waves, impacting health, agriculture, and infrastructure worldwide. Severe impact is in India as well. India's diverse climate and high population density make it especially vulnerable, with temperature, often exceeding IMD heat wave thresholds and causing major socio-economic losses. Need for better forecasting. What is that? There are a lot of models. Machine learning is contributing a lot. If we are going more intensive, then of course deep learning is there. So deep learning model is helping a lot in this. So advanced data-driven approaches are required to capture complex atmospheric interactions and improve heat wave prediction accuracy beyond traditional models. Problem if we are talking about so limited geographical coverage, class imbalance is there because heat wave is not throughout the year. In some months it is very high in India and some months not. So class imbalancing problem is there. Insufficient long range temporal modeling is also needed. If we are talking about the goals, so what is the scientific relevance is that address limitations of traditional numerical models in handling non-linear, especially diverse and long-term climate patterns. Robust data foundation, if we are talking then a 25-year multi-city data set enables more generalizable and reliable heat wave prediction. Advanced modeling approach is there we adopted. So we adopted hybrid model selection. As I have already told, deep learning is providing you a lot of opportunities to use its model in this type of problem for predictions. So we have used here model like CNN by LSTM and transformer by LSTM we have proposed, and we will see how it is these are outperforming other traditional models. Practical impact, if we are talking, so prediction capabilities for various sectors. uh, in this way, then we have done a lot of intensive literature review for this, like increasing heat wave, climate change has intensified heat wave impact on the world. Hybrid deep learning model need integrated deep learning models are essential for reliable heat wave protection across regions. So a lot of research are available using traditional models, machine learning, deep learning, others models. So we have compared our model in this research paper. So if we are talking about the research methodology, so of course we have used quantitative research approach to analyze and develop machine learning model. Hybrid model that we have used here, CNN by LSTM and transfer by LSTM models. And if comparative analysis we are talked about, then it adds understanding which models work the best. So data collection, if we are talking about, so yes, this is secondary data. We downloaded this data from the Kaggle website, and we included around 10, features here, just like daily maximum, daily minimum temperature, apparent temperature, precipitation, rainfall, wind speed, wind gust, and dominant wind direction, like that. So data analysis, if we are talking about the model design is CNN by LSTM, learn short-term patterns, transformer by LSTM, capture long-term dependencies. So both approach we are talking here. If evaluation part we are discussing, then models were trained and tested using standard classification metrics. So here we basically did binary classification, means if since we are talking about the heat and non-heat wave. So if results we are talking, so through this paper we can see that transformer by LSTM outperform better, especially in heat wave detections with other traditional models that we have compared in this research. So, if we are talking about the architecture of the CNN by LSTM, so it is, the general architecture you need to follow just like the data pre-processing, data loading, and then of course, as per the model encoding, heat wave leveling, because it is the deep learning classification is needed. Then generalization, SMOT balancing for class balance, CNN feature extraction, embedding, and then by LSTM model. Since we are making binary classification, the function that we have used here is sigmoid function, that is 0 or 1. We know that. And then, of course, classification. Transformer, if we are talking about, then here in general structure, we have used transformer after class imbalancing, then transformer encoder by LSTM fusion we have used, and then classification. So results, if we are talking about here, so heat and non-heat wave, these are two class. So if we are talking about the precision, so for non-heat wave it is 1, but for heat wave the precision is 0.53. Recall, if we are talking about non-heat wave is having 90% and heat wave having 98%. F1 score, if we are talking about, so heat wave is having 0.69. Overall accuracy, if we are talking about, so of course, this model is showing outperforming accuracy compared to traditional models that we have used here. So it is 91.26. So if we are talking about the performance trade-off, so Transformer BI LSTM, offer balance accuracy with fewer false positive and strong recall, while CNN by LSTM detects extreme heat wave well but generate more false alarms. Comparison, if we are talking about the predictive capabilities, so Transformer BI LSTM model shows better performance, ethical and practical implications, showing high recall rates for proposed model aids across many sectors. So, if talking about the comparison, so transformer by LSTM, as I have told earlier, is that 91.26% accuracy, and another proposed CNN by LSTM is 87.97. However, if we are compared to the other traditional machine learning model or GNN or deep learning, so support vector regression SVR is having only 87%, and graphical neural network only having 49%. Autoencoders having a little bit better, that is 85%. So if talking about the conclusion, then if talking about a scope, then hybrid deep learning model were tested on 25 years of multi-city Indian weather data. Transformer by LSTM achieved the highest accuracy with a strong heat wave recall compared to the models that we are using in this paper. If comparison we are talking about, then both models outperform traditional ML and anomaly detection methods. If we are talking about the impact, then of course the result supports the reliable heat wave early warning and climate resilient plan. So this was all about my presentation in this Viksit Bharat series conference. Thank you all. Mhm.
Warm greetings. I am judging the paper titled City Aware Transformer, the by LSTM model for accurate heat wave prediction using daily weather data in Indian cities. The authors Wasim Ahmad Ansari and Omkar Dandekar from School of Engineering, KK Modi University, Durg, Chhattisgarh, India. I firstly congratulate both the authors. A well written and well drafted paper covered each aspect related to the heat wave prediction using daily weather data in Indian cities. The paper is squarely presented the accurate and the early prediction in reference to the heat wave. The paper is defining the literature in the different era as well as the year of the different studies, the data pre-processing, the data analysis, the data driven approach in the case of the different algorithmic use is also well appreciated. So in this case, the by LSTM, the CNN by LSTM with reference to gradient boost, light GBM, SVM, random forest, and feed forward neural network classification models with respect to the well accurate approach with the accuracy of 91.26 as with current approach, an overall approach of by LSTM compared to other techniques that has been highlighted. The introduction is well written with respect to the different state studies like Gujarat, Uttar Pradesh, Andhra Pradesh, Odisha, Kolkata, Chennai, Delhi, Hyderabad. So the perseverance of extreme temperature that has been highlighted with respect to the different research theories as well as the history of these heat wave prediction mechanisms as well as the heat prediction techniques and the analysis techniques that are also been defined. So the different crucial limitations are also been highlighted with reference to the current approach in this paper with respect to the different previous studies as the interpretation of atmospheric patterns and say the identification or say the weaker identification and the recall, the weaker recall of or these parameters has been highlighted. The past studies with the limited geographical coverage that also been highlighted in the literature. So defining the appropriate gap with respect to the comprehensive deep learning framework, the current approach of artificial intelligence and machine learning model that has been highlighted. The literature review once again is been said is very extensive and well thought, well defined, well approached, as well as is well written. The background and the context in the case of all these studies, where the heat wave analysis, the generation, the analysis, and say some of the variety of aspects related to its growth, say for example socio-economic growth consequences and say the intensity in the metropolitan and semi-arid regions of India has been defined. The appreciation goes further for the case of dataset overview. So the diverse and wide variety of dataset with respect to the major Indian cities like Ahmedabad, Bangalore, Chennai, Jaipur, Kolkata, Lucknow, the diverse areas, the data has been defined or say the data has been captured and it has been utilized. So it is with reference to WMO standard weather codes or say the wind speed or say the span of the data set of 25 years with respect to these attributes are been observed. So it is, yes, obviously the data makes such sense in the AI or machine learning driven approaches. The importance of the study is also well highlighted with respect to the traditional numerical weather model that struggles with the variety of key points, and what is the need of say the transformer by LSTM and CNN by LSTM architecture that gives the correct analysis of say the heat wave generation and say the identification. The techniques what were there in case of heat wave analysis with respect to the different citations or say the research carried, the recent research carried 20 in 2022 and in 2024 that has been highlighted with respect to the available convolutional neural network approach and the hybrid convolutional neural network approach as by LSTM model, which combines the different approaches further. So these approaches are been identified. So comparing to these literatures, the advantage of the author's model has been appropriately defined. Looking into the perspective of major challenges in the heat wave database as the rarity of extreme events, okay, and say the smooth based sequence level oversampling in the case of the data set. So all these are been properly highlighted, as well as say the model with respect to the additional benchmark with in terms of the classical machine learning techniques, random forest, gradient boost, extra gradient boost, SVM, ANN, all these aspects are touched upon. And the key challenges in reference to the class imbalance, the nature of architecture has been highlighted. The research design with reference to the data collection has been mentioned earlier as well. The analysis technique are been well defined. The suggestion over here for this research paper is that whatever the methodology is been quoted appropriately needs to be highlighted and described in terms of the block schematic, and the literature also should be well extensive enough to judge the and to define the previous research and the gaps in the previous research and the proposed methodology. The advancement in the proposed methodology also should be highlighted enough. The result and discussion with respect to the different parameters in the case of say not non heat wave and heat wave are being defined in terms of the parameter like precision, recall, F1 score, and the support. So this transformer by LSTM model with respect to these different parameters and say the smooth balanced data set has been defined well, properly justified with the different parameters as stated earlier as well. So the statistical results are well appreciated in terms of say comparison of the models, in terms of say further results comparison of the previous research, in terms of the accuracy comparison in different models as well. These are well defined. Ethical and practical implications are also been defined in the perspective of this research. So it is highly appreciated that all these things are been captured well enough, drafted well enough. The limitations are also with reference to the current methodology. The key certain meteorological variables like humidity, solar radiation, atmospheric pressure, that why not it has been included has been defined properly as well. So the further research has been advised as well in terms of say these research or say these research limitations, the current research limitation, and say the improvement has been suggested. So in the case of conclusion as well, it is well properly written and justified that say how these models, the transformer heat wave generation models, the by LSTM models with respect to say the predictive robustness has been defined. So I further once again congratulate the authors, and I recommend that this paper titled City Aware Transformer by LSTM Model for Accurate Heat Wave Prediction Using Daily Weather Data in Indian Cities should be highlighted as a good paper in the conference. Thank you.